Okay, so we've had a pretty interesting not quite a month and a half, 40 days, where we have set up a office walking challenge.
Not we.
Okay.
Who set it up?
No, yeah. I will lead with this. This was not my challenge that I came up with. I did a challenge last month in November, and then when I finished it, I was telling the office staff about it, not boasting about it, just informing them. And they said, we want to join in with you. You should make another one for the office staff.
I feel like I could have said something like that. We should all do something as a staff.
I think Doug was there. I think Melinda was there. Mm-hmm. I think other people that aren't on this podcast to stand up for themselves right now were also there that I can throw under the bus.
Was I not there?
I don't know.
It was your.
It might have been.
It was your day off.
Yeah, okay. It was a Monday.
Fair enough.
Because Shanna was off too, and we were both at the house.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
So we basically got informed of it. I mean, we did consent. I mean, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Okay.
You agreed.
It was fun.
Fair enough.
In theory, I agreed with the challenge. I think as time went on, I'm kind of like,
So we asked around on what we wanted it to be, like if it was push-ups or jump rope or
I would have suggested
around
all
the
that.
Parking lot.
But
and
some of us said
recently had surgeries.
Not many of us can do jump rope right now.
Right.
And
okay.
And so we were starting at something that we all do anyways, and just trying to track it and go along with it. And we thought, we need a theme for this.
Well, you had the great idea to tie it into our
We didn't think of any of this. You did.
It was not my idea to do the challenge. I did the math.
It was a group effort.
Yeah.
It was.
Who's the owner of the spreadsheet?
I created the spreadsheet.
Okay. All right. There we go.
I captained this campaign.
The math teacher.
In a way. And it was the day after Mission Sunday is when we started. And we thought that was pretty fitting, since that was on our mind, to also do this kind of mission themed. And we calculated from Austin Avenue to Houston to Monterey to Salt River and Mesa, and then to the Kayenta Church of Christ in Arizona as well, how many steps it would take, divided up amongst the office staff and some spouses, the 12 of us, how many steps and how many days it would take us to get there. And it was, if each person did 8,750 steps a day, which is more than we were, it was definitely going to be a challenge, but that's the point of a challenge, right? It would take us 40 days to get there. And today is day 40.
Day 40.
And so the challenge is not over, per se, at the time of recording this, but we're 12 hours from it being over.
It's over.
So we pretty much have the final statistics for everything. Do y'all want to know some of this?
So I think we also need to know what we named it. Because
40 days in the windy wilderness.
Yes.
Lance, I don't remember how we got that windy term. It was during staff meeting.
I used the phrase wind sprint, and Doug insisted that nobody calls it a wind sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wind
And
pants.
I had never
Do you ever
heard
use
that.
that one?
Wind what?
Wind pants. Wind jacket.
Do you wear
It's a
your wind
windbreaker.
attire?
Windbreaker.
Your
yeah.
windbreaker and your wind.
They're
breaker
called wind
pants.
sprints. Like, I don't think this is a hot take.
No, it's
It's
not.
not
We
controversial.
Googled it.
I've
Yeah.
heard that
It's
term
legit.
before.
Yeah.
But I think there were some
we Googled it.
I Googled
some
it.
comments in the form of jabs made towards you that day. And that's kind of how we got the name.
There were a lot of comments.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe I talk too much. I have no idea.
Is
Windy,
it on?
I don't know.
That was
Is it
good.
on?
Yeah.
It's on. Sorry, we continue to have technical difficulties.
Okay, so now that the challenge is pretty much over, I looked at the spreadsheet, I did a little bit of math, and some interesting things that I thought people would like from it. And so I have a couple categories. Most consistent. Who had the least amount of red days, and it was a tie.
Not me.
And when we say red days, it means you didn't hit that day's goal.
It means you disappointed Jyles.
That is not the case.
I told my
Giles
kids,
had red days.
sorry guys, I have to go walk. I don't want to disappoint Jyles.
That's right.
I was not the police on that. I did not go and look at everybody's stuff.
How
each
do you
day.
want to let him down?
I know you don't.
He's so
You really
earnest.
don't. But I'm glad that he doesn't judge me for all my red days.
You know, there's a longer story I could tell about I made it my ambition to be a coach that you didn't want to let down.
Yeah.
Not that you were scared of,
Successful.
but just one that you didn't want to let down. So most consistent. 2 people tied for this. And of the 40, they had 7 days where they didn't hit it. So a week out of those 40, Melinda and myself each had 7 days. I debated on not telling this.
Every award.
No, I debated on not telling that one. And I told Waylon before, when I thought of these categories, like, I want to know who did it first, because if it's all the same person, I'm not going to share this stuff.
Right.
But if it's not the same person, I want to share the ball and celebrate with people. Anyways,
As you should. Yeah.
most improved step count from week 1 average until the last 5 days of the challenge.
So I just didn't participate. I treated it like my taxes. Week 1, like, I know it's
Lance
there.
doesn't do his taxes. You heard it here first.
I know.
Doesn't participate.
I know it's there. I know I owe something. I have till the 15th, so I'm just not going to worry about it yet. So I think after the first week, I think I might have been the closest to, like, the bare minimum amount for the rest of the challenge.
Yeah, so I think if I remember right, you were like in the top for the most improved.
Okay.
But
It's just because I
think
didn't
what-
do it the first week.
I think what ruined you is in that first week, you had one stellar day of 17,000.
I went hiking.
Yeah.
I think it was when you were in Gordon for a stock show thing.
Oh,
And you were
yes.
just
It was
pacing
a stock show.
most
I
of the day.
did.
Yeah.
So, like, that technically was part of that first week.
That was
That's
in the
right.
first 7 days.
Yeah.
And
That's
so the first 5, maybe like what you're saying is right.
I did nothing.
But then 6 and 7,
And then
Kids are gonna like that
and
one.
then the IRS fear settled into me, and I was like, I got to pay my taxes.
For
and
sure.
like, yeah, I just paced at that stock show.
start
Yeah.
living on debit instead of on credit.
Yes.
Right. And so your average bumped up from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's true.
But you still improved in the last week than where you were in the first week.
Yeah.
But the biggest improvement belongs to none other than Douglas Crumble
Oh.
Yes.
with 4,757 more in the last 5 days than he did in the first week.
Nice.
Nice.
Which I don't know if that means he was a slacker in the first week and just got it together, but I think he just really put in some extra effort
Yeah,
in
off
that
the
last
bat,
week.
off the bat, he was gung ho. He got
Yeah.
that bike
Yeah.
out and
Yeah.
stepped away.
He also has another one on here, the longest streak, 15 days consecutive of hitting that 8,750.
Doug Crum. Yes.
Yeah, there was a couple
Nice.
in the dozen
Congrats.
that had 12, some that hit the 10-day mark of doing it, but I think he had the most at 15.
Cool.
And this one belongs to actually someone at this table, not named Jyles. The Holy Grounds Award, the most steps taken on this church property, Lance Havens.
Oh,
Nice.
how about it?
I don't know how we track that. This is just a gut
Interesting.
feeling. I think you got 500,000 steps on this acreage here.
I don't.
You didn't
Surely,
get 500,000 total.
yeah. I was gonna say, surely Shanna has more after this week.
That's true.
Cookies and cocoa.
Yeah, y'all put in a lot the last
Yeah.
few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20,000 step days.
20,000 step days,
Yes.
all in the FLC.
Yeah. It's too bad that they couldn't count my standing at
your mic's on.
Is it not
it's
on?
on. I just don't know what's
Okay.
happening.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's on.
there it is.
Chances are it's coming through fine. It's like last
Do I
time.
have to
where-
get really close? Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah, it's kind of an NPR
Sometimes.
vibe there.
Oh,
So
okay.
you don't think your steps counted as you were stirring the
I
pot?
wish I would have put my phone on my arm and I could have gotten probably 60,000 steps because that's how many times I stirred that hot chocolate last
Yeah.
night. So
It's a good point.
I don't know. I wasn't thinking last night,
Yeah.
but it's a regret. I should have done that.
Any other numbers y'all would like to know? You think questions that our audience would have about this?
I don't know.
Well, I
I
think
only had like 3 or 4 green days.
I didn't go and count those.
so. So
I
how
didn't
far
do very well.
did we actually get?
We got
Okay,
so
because that's kind of what we want to get to, right?
that's right. Sure.
Yeah.
We had our goal was to get to 4.2 million steps, which is just over 2,000 miles to all of those places, and we are on day 40 now. So after 39 days, we are at 3.75 days. So 3.75 million steps. So there's a ways to go. We're not going to hit it today, But I think there's still honor in what we did do, even though we didn't hit our goal.
Yeah. When you fall short of your goal, what do you do? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I brought a list up
Okay.
because
Love it.
we're Americans and we love it when somebody fails, right? And then
Right.
they get back up. That's a very American thing. I mean, Rocky lost in Rocky 1, right? Won awards. Comes back in Rocky 2, bang, champion, right?
Yeah.
It's like the most American thing.
The comeback story.
So yeah, I'm not going to go into great detail on these because probably everybody knows them. They're like part of the American myth. Abe Lincoln, right? Failed in business, couldn't get elected dog catcher, lost, had a nervous breakdown, and now he's the most important president we've ever had. Edison, Disney, J.K. Rowling, Michael Jordan, which the way they tell the story is that he got cut. He didn't get cut. He was on JV his freshman year. But anyway, that's not the same as getting cut. That one gets mistold so many times.
I have a sports one.
Yeah.
Is it Phil Simms with the Buffalo Bills? Went to 4 consecutive.
No.
Chris Simms.
No. Phil Simms played for the Giants. You're thinking of the Bills.
I got the right-
Jim Kelly.
There you go. I
Yeah.
got the right color and the right state. Oh,
I
you
wrote
getting
that.
there? Go for
Yeah.
it.
No. And so
4
but-
consecutive Super Bowls. Didn't win a one.
Yeah. So yeah, I was going to transition. So like, yeah, you have the people who got knocked down, right?
Yeah.
And then they got back up. But what do you do with the people that they're known for their failure and there's not that second act? You have Napoleon. You have Custer. You have the Bills. I
Yeah.
wrote that one down. And so what do you do with those folks that don't get a second act? I don't know.
Interesting.
We certainly don't think about them much.
Yeah. Or we only
Yeah.
think about them as their failure, but like their whole life consisted of so much more than their final act.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a lot of wins that got them to those failures,
Oh, for sure.
right? Like I don't want to say you don't become Napoleon without winning.
Yeah.
right?
No. He won and
But, like-
won and won and won
Right. To get to that,
until he extended too far.
for sure. And same with all of those people on there. Like they were the best at what they were doing. And they got to a very successful part and just couldn't finish it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't know, I kind of switched in my mind's eye to kind of some biblical things. Paul has a plan about where he wants to go, and twice he's told, no, you can't go there. Asia, part of Asia that he wanted to go to. And God had a better yes for him to go to Macedonia.
Yeah.
Doug's preached about that recently. I think of Moses, right? I think of that generation that left Egypt that like we could almost kind of like mark them as like, yeah, that's the generation that didn't make it. So a lot of this depends on geography about where things take place. But when Jesus takes some of the disciples on top of a mountain, okay, and Jesus is transfigured,
Yeah.
who's there?
Just 3 of them.
Yeah. And Moses is there.
That's true.
And depending on where that happened, guess where that was? The Promised Land.
The Promised Land.
Right? He still made it. And even if he didn't geographically on earth like make it into the technical Promised Land, he still is in the heavenly Promised Land, right? And so it's like we follow a God that like our relationship with him like almost starts from us admitting that we failed and we want you to be in charge of the second act.
Absolutely.
And so I don't know. I've always had a special place in my heart for the Buffalo Bills and people who took a big swing and failed because like our faith doesn't really start until we're on our second chance or third chance or fourth chance or fifth chance.
And I think we can learn a lot of grace in those moments too, when somebody else is struggling through those losses, to understand what they're going through and just, like not putting that extra pressure on them regardless of their outcome, win or lose. If you have felt that loss a lot, that grace can really grow, and that's really special.
Yeah.
When you're not critical of others because you think they should be doing better, but perhaps there's a win in there for them that you don't know about.
Was Elijah also?
Yeah.
Elijah
Is that the third character that went unnamed? Just
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, at the
top.
Transfiguration.
Yeah.
At the top.
The other
mountain.
spirit.
Yeah, Elijah,
Yeah.
Moses,
Peter wants to build
Jesus. Yeah,
a temple for
he
them.
wants to hang out.
A tent.
And I think to Sarah's point there, and to yours as well, like the earthly goal of leaving Egypt and going through the wilderness and entering into the promised land was not met,
Yeah,
but it was met eventually,
yeah,
right? And we can say
In
that
God's time, yeah.
about any of our goals. But really, like the main goal of this walking challenge was not to get 4.2 million steps.
Yes,
and
it was.
And to metaphorically walk
Yes,
to all of
yes.
these places. It was to do something together.
Yeah.
And it was to challenge ourselves.
yeah,
Right? Now I can look back, and all of us probably can, and say, oh, I challenged myself this month as a team, and we got better, and we enjoyed our time together. Challenge met.
yeah,
Like maybe we didn't hit that numerical goal we had, and so in one way we can say, "Oh, scrap it, it was a failure," but in a lot of different ways, there was some big wins here,
Yeah, I think so too.
and so the real goal was met.
yeah. Well, a word that I love is yet. You know, when somebody says, you know, I didn't meet that goal, I failed, I say, well, you didn't meet it yet. Right? And so like we're going to walk those steps.
Right.
We just haven't done it yet.
Yep.
We're not going to do it in the 40 days, but you know, that's okay.
Yeah.
We're still going to get there.
And I think having something like this sheds light on what the real goal should be.
Yeah.
Right. When you say I haven't met my goal, oh yeah, it's like, well, through this process, I realized that goal I had set at first was probably not the one I was really shooting for.
Yeah.
It was something else, and whatever it might be.
Kip has a recurring joke. He's like, maybe the real treasure was the friendships we made along the way. I think that's maybe like a social media meme.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those things are tropes because they're
Does
true.
matter.
How do we know we're in the good old days?
Yeah.
You're in the good old days.
Yeah. I was like, there's got to be some kind of lesson that I'm not quick enough to make up right now. But you know, the second chances, you know, coming back for their second act and all that. I automatically think of the ultimate second act, which is still to come.
Yeah.
Very true.
You know, and you know, talking about people not getting their chance or they get it later. That's my. While I was sitting here listening to y'all, I was like, you know what? There's like an ultimate second act coming when Jesus comes back, and we
Yeah.
know that that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We don't always know that we're gonna make our goal, but we know that's coming. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
We
If
can
you
be
gave me a
confident.
week to think about it and study,
Yeah,
I
that was
probably could
good.
come up with something. But sorry to leave it on that.
No, and we can be confident in that goal.
So how do you handle failures in church life, in your ministry?
Just don't fail.
Yeah.
Don't mess up.
See, I started
Always
off.
win.
I started off that way.
You were on a streak of.
I was
wins.
like undefeated. You know, everything I do is going to be perfect. It's going to be great. It's going to be above the line. Just everybody's going to praise me. Everybody, you know, just everything is going to be perfect. And ministry will disabuse you of that in a heartbeat. Parenting will disabuse you of that in a heartbeat. I spent all morning on hold with various banking establishments trying to get an answer to one question. I am failed at every level this morning. And you just kind of get used to failure. And I grew to kind of like it. I was like, well, that means that I found the boundaries of what's possible in this area right now. I kind of like it when things don't go perfectly. I'm like, okay, I stretched it. I didn't play it safe. I trusted. I took a swing.
I have kind of a ministry saying about kind of failure and winning. That a lot goes with Christian life as well. But it's like when the things you can control and the things you can't control, like don't bother about trying to win those things.
Yeah.
And so the things you can control when it comes to ministry is like communication.
Yep.
Right? You can control that. So if you win in that area and people still don't show up, that's something you can't control.
Exactly.
Right.
Like winning at communication, having that communication received, that's where the loss occurs. But
Yeah.
if you've covered what you've done, like covered your bases and I did this way and this way and this way, they had the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was successful.
And you
Effort,
can't always
preparation,
yeah.
communication.
You can't always control who's there and who's not there, But you can control all those things, right? Especially like preparation and what you're going to say. I don't want anyone to feel like that it was a losing day when they showed up because other people didn't show up. I want to win with the kids or with the adults or with the children, whatever ministry we serve in. I want to win with the people that are there. And some of my, just best Sunday mornings that I'll look back to were like holidays. We had a lot of people out,
Right.
or there was a big event going on. And instead of the normal crowd, I had like 12 kids in class. And we had conversation and
Really
we were
good
interactive. And it was
conversation.
great.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that disheartening at times if you want to view it that way? For sure. But I just decided that today's going to be a win with the people we
Yeah.
do have. And it was
That's
it was
it's
a
a
great
good
day.
mindset going in. Good
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
No, I think that was a great thing. Or listening to that, we had cookies and cocoa with Santa last night, and this year there were a bunch of other stuff going on, like the plays and stuff throughout the town. Like I think the Lyric had something going on that we had a lot of people involved in.
Choir
And
concert.
So the high school did their musical or what play or whatever they're doing, and there was just a bunch of people that weren't there. But me and Shanna, we were so thankful for the people that did show up, and the ones that did show up that were able to make it did so much. Like, it was a great thing to see. The few people that showed up to help decorate, we got it all done.
Right.
The ones that showed up to bake cookies, we got it all done. And we have like extra cookies,
Count me in.
Yeah, I know. We need to hit the fridge up here in a minute because they're in the fridge. But I am so thankful for them, and I just loved seeing them show up and have that opportunity to serve. And even though maybe there weren't as many people involved in making that happen this year, it still happened, and we had a great night last night. I don't know, maybe this is a preacher count, but we gave away at least 120 cups. So I would think there were probably 110 or 115 people come last night.
That's
so
great.
It was awesome, and thank y'all for everybody that made that happen.
Yeah.
It was great.
I think to your point, Waylon, we can sometimes use the wrong metrics to determine what's a win and what's a loss, right? Because you can have, a pew full of people that aren't transformed, right? And that's ultimately not the goal, is to have a lot of people come through. I'm sure there's some saying that would really punch this home right now. I just don't know it. Give me a week, right? But that's not the goal either, right? And if you have some gaps in there, but lives are being transformed, that's a win.
Yeah.
So we can often
Absolutely.
put those in the wrong categories, in the wrong columns.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's just a question of like those failures, as long as you keep on getting up, back to Rocky, okay? That it can lead you to the place that you're meant to be. Another story that I've thought about is Drew Brees had surgery on his shoulder, and the Dolphins were looking to sign him, and he failed his physical. And that could have been the end of his career. He could have packed it in. The Saints looked at the same medical stuff and said, yeah, we'll take a chance on you. He had been deemed as not worthy physically to play in the league. And then he went on to win a Super Bowl, Hall of Fame career, revitalized the city after Katrina. And so it's like somebody told him he wasn't physically fit enough to play in the league. And like we can give ourselves that own diagnosis and say, I'm not fit for ministry. And it's like, no, you failed here so that you can succeed someplace else.
Yeah.
And so just never take failures the final word.
Absolutely.
No.
The cross is the greatest example of that, right? If you just take that snapshot, it's like, well, that's a rabbi who seemingly is rejected by God and man both. He's hung here on this cross between earth and heaven and just rejected and despised and spit upon, and like, what a failure.
Yeah.
And 3 days later, the
Yeah.
greatest victory of all time.
Absolutely.
It's like failure is something that you pass through. Just get back up.
Is there a lesson on forgiveness somewhere kind of hidden in there. I think Drew Brees was probably not very happy with that doctor that failed him on his physical. But now looking back, he probably thanks him.
Yeah.
Right? Because he had all those things that you mentioned. Super Bowl career, revitalized the city, is in the Hall of Fame or going to be in the Hall of Fame. He probably thanks God for that moment, for the way that things all worked out. Now, Nick Saban, the coach of the Dolphins at the time, probably does not forgive
Changed
that doctor.
his career. Sent him back to Alabama. To Alabama. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he might look back on that too.
The what ifs.
And say, man, if I would have got Drew Brees and won a few games, I might still be in Miami instead of going to Bama and had all those national championships.
Yeah.
And so, in a way, like, what was their greatest failure? They would look back and not change a thing, but they could only do that because of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it brings us to Garth Brooks, a great prophet and theologian.
It always does.
Sometimes I thank God for what? Unanswered prayers. Right?
I thought of a Trace Adkins song the other day that I think you would appreciate. I'd rather be, I think it's Trace Adkins, in a boat thinking about God than in a pew thinking about fishing.
Oh. Wow. Yeah. It's a little complicated, though. I don't know. I'm going to have to listen to that one. I only know country music from, like, I don't know, going way back until, like, circa 1996 or 7, and then I kind of got off of country music.
But in the same way.
But I know the old ones.
Getting back to what we were talking about, there's moments in our life that we look back on as failures,
Yeah.
but we wouldn't change a thing.
No.
Yeah.
Years down the road, right? Hindsight
Yeah.
is 20/20, and we don't want to dwell on those things too much. Like, the rear view mirror is way smaller than the windshield. We're supposed to be forward minded. But we can look back on those things as failures or as opportunities that led us to whatever success we have now.
And what I'm really kind of a sucker for is when you go back to that moment of failure and you get to win the second time. And so I think of Peter, right? Denies Jesus 3 times, and then he has that moment at the lake where he gets to go back to that place of loss. And so I think a lesson in life is, like, don't keep losing it in the same place. Like, show back up and win this time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't think it's over. I think an empty tomb declares it's not over.
No, never
You
is.
should go tell Phil Sims that. Don't lose
It's
in the
Jim
same place.
Kelly. It's Jim
Don't
Kelly.
lose in the
You
same
keep
place.
butchering it.
Go back and win it.
Michael Thomas is going to hear this, and like
Michael
he for
Strahan?
sure. No, our Michael Thomas. We kind of
just
have an
naming
ongoing.
all of my favorite
We kind of have an
players.
ongoing joke. No, our Michael.
I get it.
About he's like more sports references and less movie ones from you, Lance.
Okay.
And so I did Rocky, so that's technically both.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked a lot about football today.
In the
though,
Venn
too.
diagram, that's
Yeah.
right in the middle.
Yeah.
I had a thought back to ministry
Thank you.
failure. Yeah, sure. Let's bring it back in.
Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills.
Failure in ministry. We talked about some of the surface level stuff of planning and building relationship, but I think about this so often. My father-in-law, missionary for decades, planting seeds, and trying that with his own father. Years and years and years of trying to talk with him about Jesus, about forgiveness, and Grandpa Great had a hard heart for all of those years and rejected a lot of those words. But seeds were planted.
Yeah.
And it took those 40, 45, 50 years up into his 70s, I believe, for him to finally have growth and make that change and accept Jesus and be baptized and be faithful. That even though he failed many, many times, the yet hadn't occurred. And that is just so amazing. But I know that there are ministers, parents that planted those seeds and have yet to see any growth, and the guilt that could come from that is really heavy. And that, of course, makes me think back to Wednesday night class, that we don't have to carry that guilt in those losses.
Yeah.
or the fear of trying again. And like you said, the win is coming.
Yeah.
It's promised.
Yeah.
Like you said. And my ears are on fire because it's such a neat. It's so hopeful. It's so hopeful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what great patience and perseverance.
Absolutely.
Especially in that time of decades of that, right? And I think one of my favorite parts of my job, I could talk all day about how much I love what I do, but it's that you see it all.
Yeah.
Right? You get kids, and we can all relate to this, that know nothing about it. This is their first experience. And I don't say that in a bad way. It made it sound like that. But you can plant seeds for that. And you might never know what fruit come from that. But sometimes you do get to see it. And wow, that's cool. But in other times, there's already been seeds planted. They grew up in the church from children's ministry. And now they come in and they need some watering.
Absolutely.
And that's different than just planting seeds. That's not what they need anymore. They need someone to water them and be a mentor and walk alongside with them. Yeah. And then you get into hopefully some of the upper grades, and they've been through that. And then you get to kind of partner with them and talk to them about what things they want to see. Yeah, what a journey it is to kind of watch that. And you get to bear the fruits of your labor and the labor of those before you.
Sorry.
And I just feel blessed that I kind of, in a few years, get to see all three of those in different ways.
That is really neat.
And that's not unique to just my ministry, but it's in adult men, it's in kids men, it's in everything.
Yeah, none of this stuff is ours. You know, we can make plans and show up and get people to volunteer and do all that. All of this stuff is God's, and that's something that I've definitely had to learn. And if you look through it with that lens, that it doesn't matter, you know, what you do, God is going to make this happen if it's His will. And I think that takes a lot of the pressure off of us as humans when we, you know, when we didn't give out 250 cups, you know, because that's what we bought, you know, or we didn't, you know, serve 10 gallons of hot chocolate because that's what we bought, you know what I mean? But I am thankful that I have learned that lesson that it doesn't matter what I do, God's gonna make His will happen. And I just want Him to use me however that is. And if it was just planting the seed, or even, you know, maybe kicking a little bit of dirt on the seed, then I'm good with that. You know, if that's what my life amounts to, then I'm good with that.
So it sounds like the criteria shouldn't be how many people showed up, how many times did I stutter, mess up, how many gallons did I make. It should be, was God glorified?
Yeah.
Man.
Yes
Absolutely.
or no? Yes, that's a win.
Yeah. Did we reach one person last night? Did I reach out to somebody to know that, you know, they know that I care?
Yeah.
You know, that.
And you can glorify God on your own too,
Yeah,
right? Like
for sure.
Your morning prayer time.
Yeah.
Not reaching out to people. It's not just through evangelism, right? Like it's through multiple different facets of worship.
Oh, yeah.
That we can glorify Him.
Yeah. Talk about falling short, you know, doing our practicing the way, you know, trying to make all of this stuff happen, like our daily prayers and daily reading and practicing community and all of this, trying to make that the major part of my life. Yeah.
We fall short.
Yeah, I fall short often when we're, you know, talking about doing our daily reading and saying our prayers, and I'm like, am I praying long enough? You know, am I saying
right
everything that I need to, you know, pray about? And but God knows our hearts, and you know, I think it's a good thing to just be there and show up, and God will meet us where we're at, you know.
Without a doubt.
Can I quote a sports film again? The Legend of Bagger Vance.
Might as well.
Golf is a game that can't be won; it can only be played.
Yeah.
Christianity, like, you're not going to master it. It's a relationship that you show up for, and that you don't do life for God, but you do life with God.
Yeah.
So
I'll give you a Michael Jordan quote. I never lost. I just ran out of time.
yeah,
Oh, right.
Right.
I know that one.
No
yeah.
such thing as loses. Sometimes we just run out of time.
yeah. Which full circle, that's what happened to our walking challenge.
We didn't lose.
We didn't lose.
We didn't lose.
Just
We
ran out
just-
of time.
We just
We'll,
need to go a little past 40 days.
Yeah.
We can make
keep
it today.
tracking.
We have 475,000 left today.
I think we literally have to walk to Kayenta to get that.
We needed to start now
yeah.
and keep walking until midnight probably.
Yeah.
To get there. There we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass on that one.
I don't blame you.
Some rest.
Yeah. You've done your share. Yeah, do y'all mind if I pray us out today?
Please.
Okay, let's pray. Dear God, we love you and we need you. We're thankful for just so much that we have in our lives. God, we're thankful for the wins and for the losses. We know so much can be learned, and that we can always just depend on you in those times. And we know people for centuries have drawn closer to you in those times, and what a glorious thing. And we're thankful for our wins as well, that we can celebrate with you, that we wouldn't have them without you. We're reminded today that everything we have comes from you, God, and that in whatever endeavor we try to take in this life, I pray that we don't do it alone, that we know that you are always there walking alongside us, and that ultimately, God, the victory is ours, that we do win, and we're anticipating that day, and we look forward to it consistently. We're trying to take as many people with us into that finish line. So just help us all in those efforts as we're pushing towards the ultimate victory in you, God. It's in your name that we all pray. Amen.
Amen.